Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're heading into a place of really profound contradiction, the Appalachian Mountains. It's a landscape we think of as, still and beautiful ancient forests. But the accounts you've shared with us paint a very different picture.
A much darker picture.
It suggests it harbors things that are far stranger, far more terrifying, and just fundamentally hostile to us than any normal wildlife.
And the material we're looking at is so unsettling because it really defies any easy explanation. So our mission today is to do a deep dive into three very different incidents.
They're geographically distant, but you can feel they're linked in this chilling way.
Exactly. We've got a classified special ops raid, a wilderness retreat that just spiraled into a nightmare, and a terrifying abduction into a subterranean world.
And the goal here isn't just to, list the events. We want to find the core DNA that ties these things together. We're talking about the nature of the predators, the role of human interference and secrecy.
And that haunting connection to local, sometimes ancient folklore. It's a really unusual mix of sources.
It is. From redacted military reports to these incredibly personal, isolated encounters.
Precisely. So we need to look for the patterns, find what connects these seemingly unrelated events. Let's start with, I think, the most detailed account, the Tennessee incident.
Okay, let's dig in. So this starts with a Green Beret A-team call sign raider getting a sudden domestic deployment.
Which is already a huge red flag.
Right. They're sent to a restricted, supposedly uninhabited patch of woods in a Tennessee national park. A place that, by the way, already had a reputation for people going missing.
Yeah, that immediately tells you how serious this was. A domestic QRF, a quick reaction force deployment of ASOCOM personnel is.
Well, it's extraordinary. These are top-tier special forces.
And they were clearly kept in the dark.
Completely. They were even escorted by the 160th Night Stalkers. That's the elite aviation unit for the most covert ops. So this wasn't a rescue. This was a mission for a scenario where, conventional forces either couldn't handle it or couldn't be trusted. The team knew their captain was lying to them about the mission, which just confirmed they were going up against a classified non-conventional threat. But the first real warning sign came on the approach.
The dead forest.
Yeah, the operators noted the woods were just dead.
And that silence is so important. It's not a peaceful quiet. We're talking about the absolute pervasive lack of any natural sound.
No crickets, no birds. Nothing.
It suggests a predator so dominant that the entire ecosystem just goes into lockdown. The silence isn't peace, it's a warning, a sign of ultimate danger.
And then that silence was just shattered.
The yell.
An agonizing, half-gargled scream, described as part woman scream, part dying animal. It put them on high alert before they even saw the target.
Which was just this simple gray concrete rectangle of a building.
Simple on the outside, at least. The scene there was, well, the report uses the term mescal. Mass casualty.
The guards weren't just shot. They were, and this is a quote, ripped apart. The wounds were these massive stab wounds like they'd been run through with a lamppost or something.
This wasn't a firefight. It was a slaughter.
Indiscriminate, an absolute biological devastation, and it only got worse inside.
The sterile, white ceramic tile interior was a mess. Stained with blood, viscera. But the real truth, the sickest part, was behind a reinforced blast door.
This is where the reports just turn into pure body horror.
Go on.
In that room, they found glass tubes, huge ones, refrigerator-sized, hooked up to all sorts of monitoring equipment.
Like inside.
Floating in some murky fluid were the bodies of kidnapped victims. They'd been subjected to these horrific forced mutations. Fused reptilian skin, exposed spines.
Oh, God.
Skulls, violently reshaped mouths fused shut. The report says they all died during the procedure.
And the captain confirmed these were local people, right? People just snatched off hiking trails. A 22-year-old girl, a 14-year-old boy.
Yes, they were the raw materials for whatever this was. But the key here is that the SOCOM team wasn't there to find the lab.
They were there because one of the experiments had escaped.
Exactly. And the thing they finally cornered was about 6 feet tall, bipedal, with these bony mantis-like legs.
It had 6 smaller arms, some ending in spikes, some with teeth, a smooth head, glowing eyes, and it was covered in this thick biological calcium plating.
So when they opened fire, the bullets were just bouncing off or having very little effect. It was an armored nightmare.
But in the middle of all this chaos, the operators heard it.
A consistent, terrifying sound from the creature.
It was pleading. It was saying, "Help me.
That single detail changes everything. It's definitive proof this wasn't some wild animal or an alien. They were fighting a human victim, trapped inside a biological weapons platform, begging to be released.
The most terrifying thing in that room was actually a victim.
And then came the cleanup. Immediate, total.
Unmarked personnel, right?
Yeah.
Heavily armed, some speaking German.
German speaker.
That's what the report says. They showed up in advanced hazmat suits, which that detail just blows this wide open. This isn't just a domestic black site failure.
No, that suggests a potential international black project. The level of secrecy it's staggering.
So a takeaway from Tennessee is pretty clear.
Oh, absolutely. It's extreme human arrogance, scientific violation on a level that's hard to comprehend, kidnapping, mutilation. It all unleashed this engineered horror. And the cover-up suggests this is a global, classified problem being dealt with in America's backyard.
Okay, so that's what happens when we break the rules of science.
Yeah.
But let's shift gears now. Let's look at what happens when people break the rules set by the mountains themselves.
The first story was about high-tech mutation. These next two are about predators that operate on, like, ritual and ancient taboo.
And the second account, the one at the cabin, it immediately echoes that first story.
The silence.
Exactly. The narrator says the woods were too quiet, just like the Green Berets felt. That deep, pervasive silence that says something is very, very wrong. The local guy just said, don't wander too far.
But the real guidance came from a local, a man named Mr. Faraday, and his instruction was very specific, a kind of ritualistic warning.
If you see skulls or bones, don't touch them. If they're in the way, you go around them.
That's the rule. Simple as that.
And the narrator broke it, moved a deer skull out of curiosity, and then later, he picked up a huge moose skull and threw it into the woods.
And the consequence was immediate and violent.
But not just random violence. The entity reacted with, like, specific anger. It tore up the yard, but it also shattered a heavy cast iron pot.
Why the pot? I mean, that's such a strange detail.
Well, think about it. Cast iron is heavy, durable. It's a symbol of the home, of the hearth, of security. Smashing that feels personal.
So it's not about hunger, it's about fury. Fury at the disrespect for the boundary markers, the bones.
And the predator that showed up was just horrific. 8 feet tall, bipedal, a stitched-together body, doubled knuckles, and twisted antlers where a head should be. No visible eyes.
Then came the wolves.
Yeah, black fur, but with pale human skin showing through. Their back legs were bent at these unnatural angles, making a snapping noise when they walked.
And the eyes. Red, glowing eyes.
But the sound they made, that's what's truly terrifying. They didn't howl.
They laugh.
A sharp, high-pitched laugh that sounded human, like they were mocking him, heckling him, and it grew into a whole chorus.
They were enjoying the consequence of his mistake. And it wasn't just his problem anymore.
No. Mr. Faraday told him, everyone heard them last night, son, because of your screw-up. He had endangered the entire community.
And the only solution wasn't to call the police. It was this ritualistic appeasement.
Buying the reddest, bloodiest meat and leaving it on the path as an offering. An amends.
The contrast is just, wow. The Green Berets had advanced weapons and intel. The local defense is leaving out meat and hoping for forgiveness.
Which brings us to the third account, the subterranean abduction. A different predator, but again, it's all about rules and sensitivities.
And it starts at that same trigger again, the silence in the woods. It causes the narrator to lose control, pass out. He wakes up underground.
Bound by these sticky, foul-smelling gray roots.
The scale of the place was immense. A colossal chamber with a 30-foot diameter debris pile in the center. A nest.
And the items in the nest are so telling. Ancient thing, a musket, a Civil War saber, mixed right in with modern trash. An Adidas sneaker, a baseball cap.
It's been collecting for centuries.
Yeah, and the collector, the abductor, was this cloaked adversary. A translucent silhouette, like active camo.
It used mimicry, too, the sound of a young girl's voice to lure you in before it switched to this hooting, manic animal screech.
And then it attacked with its claws. But the narrator noticed a pattern in the nest, a crucial detail.
The red items.
Exclusively red items, shirts, hats. The narrator realized his own missing hoodie was crimson.
So the color red, which is a danger signal in nature, is either a powerful attractant or a major provocation for this thing. It's another rule, a behavioral boundary.
And then he stumbles on a weakness, an old one.
He's holding that old Civil War saber made of steel, and he manages to just nick the creature, a tiny cut.
And the thing went ballistic, wailing, screeching, and it retreated immediately.
Which confirms the local folklore. The old legends about subterranean fairies, the malevolent kind, being allergic to steel.
An ancient rule holds true. A common, simple material is a powerful weapon against it.
Okay, so let's put it all together. What do we get when you combine military-grade biohorror, ancient superstitions about bones, and invisible hunters that hate steel?
I see four patterns emerging that I think really define this whole Appalachian nightmare.
Go for it.
First, the shared geography, shared silence. Every account, it doesn't matter if the predator is from a lab or from folklore, it starts with the woods going completely silent.
It's a consistent environmental signature. It's the calling card.
Second, the bipedal hybrid threat.
Yep.
The mantis thing, the antlered monster,
Yeah.
the cloaked humanoid, they're all aggressive bipedal forms that just defy biology as we know it.
It's either extreme mutation or some ancient undiscovered evolutionary branch. Both are terrifying.
Third, and this is the one that gets me, the rules of engagement. These aren't just animals. They're intelligent. They respond specifically to human actions.
Right. Moving skulls, wearing the color red, touching them with steel. These aren't random attacks. They're consequences. We're on their turf, playing by their rules, whether we know them or not.
And finally, that brings us to human complicity. We started with a secret, high-tech human experiment. But the other horrors interact with ancient knowledge. Mr. Faraday's warnings, the folklore about steel. Makes you wonder, did the lab in Tennessee create something brand new?
Or did their experiments just tamper with, or maybe mutate, an ancient evil that was already there, an evil known to the people who've lived in those mountains for generations?
The high-tech and the folkloric seem to be sharing the same violated space.
That convergence is what's so chilling. The idea that these ancient mountains are home to both Black Project monsters and primal entities vulnerable to old steel. The darkness has multiple sources, but one home.
So, a final thought to leave you with, based on everything we've just gone over.
If your safety in the deep woods depends entirely on respecting some arbitrary ancient rule like leaving bones alone or avoiding a certain color, and breaking that rule unleashes this multifaceted, indiscriminate terror, how much is your curiosity or independence worth versus simple obedience?
The next time you're out in the deep woods, what rules are you unknowingly breaking?